Namaste. Hi, everybody. This is Mikaila, and I wanted to thank you guys for attending this Self-Care Sunday class. I've been really enjoying the feedback from everybody from, from all around the country, especially in this time of uncertainty, that we can come together in this place of calmness and oneness. So namaste, thank you again. I also want to thank Soulivity magazine as well as Soulivity Latinx for having me teach here. So let's come to our mats and let's get started. So start out in a comfortable pose. So whatever pose that is for you, that could be sitting with your knees crossed, or it could be with your legs extended out, however you find it to be comfortable for you in this practice. Today we're going to be giving, I'll be sharing some poses that will lengthen the spine as well as strengthening the core. So we'll do a little work today. So let's start off. Let's come into a comfortable seat here. And let's come into a place of basically coming into a place of stillness, but still mindfulness. So as you come into a seated pose, close our eyes, placing our palms either on our knees, if we wanted to find grounding in our practice today, or keeping the palms up to open your mind. So I'm going to keep my palms down because it's been a bit of a hectic week and I'm just looking to slow down a bit. So staying in this comfortable seat for a moment, closing our eyes. Maybe breathing in the peace that we find, that we can only find from within. And as we're here, we can just take a deep inhale, deep inhale, hold it, and then let it out through the mouth. One more time, deep inhale, hold it, and then letting out the mouth. Let's flutter open the eyes. Staying in this seated position. Bring our palms together. And then when we're ready, begin to take our palms, lift them up, and then place them slowly down on the mat. Once again, inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale. This time, inhale, and then bring your palms away from you, and then slowly begin to bring your palms in front of you. So as we're here, let's be mindful about our spine, keeping it nice and straight. Take another deep inhale, and as we exhale, begin to slowly move forward. So if your hips are a bit tight, you can stay maybe right here, wherever is more comfortable for you. If your hips are a little bit more open, you can bring your palms maybe farther away from you, giving your hips a little bit more of a stretch. And then take another deep inhale. And as you exhale, begin to slowly move forward if you want. Crown of the head, forehead to the floor. And then inhale, come up, walking your fingertips closer to your body, and then coming back to neutral. So let's start off with seated cat-cow poses. So keeping yourself in a comfortable pose, whatever that is. Palms are on the knees. We're going to inhale, lifting the chest up, and then exhaling, rounding the back. Once again, inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Let's come on our hands and knees. Continuing our cat and cow poses. So while we're here, being aware that your hips are stacked over your knees and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Stay here for a moment and breathe. And when you're ready, inhale, lifting up the chest. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rounding the back. When you're ready, begin to slowly bring your bum to your ankles. So as you're doing this, as you're coming down, bringing your bum to your ankles, see if you can engage your core as you're coming down. And while you're there, inhale, lift up, coming back to hands and knees. And then once again, engaging that core, slowly bringing your bum to your ankles. And then come back up. So while we're here, let's take a moment and extend the left arm out and the right leg out. So you're using your core and your hamstrings, your thighs actually, to help balance in this pose. 3 more breaths. Good. When you're ready, come back down, bring the left palm and then the right knee down. Do the other side. Inhale, lifting up that, extending out that right arm, extending out that left leg. And then slowly bringing that right palm down, left knee down. So let's do one more cat-cow pose. Inhale. Exhale, round the back. Good. Now, slowly bring your palms closer to the top of your mat, making sure that all 10 fingers are spread out. Shoulders are drawn in. And then when you're ready, tuck the toes, come into downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, take a moment here. If your hamstrings and calves are tight, you can feel free to pedal your feet until you can find stillness. And then bend the knees, hovering over your mat, little core work here. Inhale, come back up. And then again, bringing your knees to hover over your mat. Again, inhale. Now, as you're in downward facing dog, you need to lift that right leg up. And then slowly begin to bend that right knee over the left hip. Two more breaths. Good. Inhale, extend that right leg out again. and then bringing the right foot down. Other side, inhale, lifting that left leg up. Breathe. And then when you're ready, begin to bend that left knee over the right hip. Two more breaths. And then inhale, lifting that leg up one more time. And then exhale, bringing that foot down to maybe right. Bend the knees, come into child's pose. And then when you're ready, come back on your hands and knees. Again, cat-cow pose, inhale. Exhale, round. One more time, inhale. Exhale. So let's come back into a seated position. We'll do some side stretching, lengthening the spine and the side body. So as we're here, left arm comes up and the right elbow comes down to the mat. Two more breaths. And then begin to bring that left palm down to the mat and the left elbow down to the mat. As you inhale, bringing that right arm up. Be mindful of your hips. And if there's any tension in the neck, you can just keep that neutral, or if you're good, you can maybe look up to your right hand. And then when you're ready, begin to bring that right palm down as we come back to neutral. Let's take a few moments here to do some mindful breathing. So let's do a little bit more stretching. So inhale, come up. Again, exhale, fold. This time, while we're here, your hands in front of you. Inhale. And as you exhale, begin to slowly see if you can move to your right. So my fingertips are lifted in order to find a stretch in my shoulders. If you'd like to, you can maybe bring your palms down. And then when you're ready, take inhale, and then as you exhale, begin to bring your fingertips to your left. Again, that extra shoulder stretch, and then maybe palms down, folding. And then when you're ready, take a deep inhale, lift up. Exhale, walking your fingertips back to the front. And then back to neutral. Take another inhale up, lifting. Exhale down. Once again, inhale. Exhale down. So let's continue with some hip opening poses. So again, wherever you are in your practice, if your hips are open, what you'll do is maybe bring the soles of your feet together. And if your hips are more open, maybe bringing your feet closer to your body. So we have a few variations here. Maybe bringing your soles of the feet out, further out in front of you, or maybe a little bit closer, or maybe a little bit closer. I'm going to stay here. Gently grab onto your ankles. Wherever you are, you're here, you're safe, you're present. So you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, begin to fold forward. So wherever you are right now, stay here and just breathe. Be mindful of where you are. Take another deep inhale. As you exhale, with the spine straight, begin to fold forward. And as you inhale, begin to come back up. And then bring the knees together and extend the legs out, giving a little shake. Now let's bring our left sole foot into the right thigh here. I'm going to turn toward the right foot. Inhale. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward. So the goal is actually not to touch the foot. The goal is to be able to breathe through the pose and whatever is safest for you. So you do have a strap. Maybe you can wrap the strap around the foot to give you more of ease into the pose, into the fold. Otherwise, if you're here, I know a lot of my runner friends, like myself, a lot of our calves and our hamstrings are really tight from running. So maybe if this is where you are, that's great. When I first started practicing yoga, this is where I was. So it's all about the journey, and it's all about how you feel mindfully in each pose. So if your goal is here, you work towards that. And if your goal is here, you work towards that. And so let's take another deep inhale, wherever you are in the pose, and then exhale, begin to fold forward. And when you're ready, begin to inhale, slowly, mindfully bring your fingertips back to the center. So into the other side, bringing the right sole into the left thigh. And each side is different. So my right hip is always tighter than my left, and sometimes the fold just doesn't happen. So again, wherever you are, you're good. So let's look into the direction of the extended foot here. And take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, begin to fold again, maybe using that strap in order to come into the fold a little bit easier. So when you're ready, begin to slowly walk your fingertips back to neutral. And let's once again extend both feet out. Give them a good shake. Let's take a moment here. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, deep inhales, deep exhales. Bringing energy to our muscles, bringing peace to our minds. Good. Now, since we've done a few hip opening poses, let's now straddle the feet out. So in this wide-legged pose that we're doing right now, the feet are flexed in. So you want to make sure that, because this is an active pose, so you want to make sure that if you're feeling tightness in the groin or pain, bring your feet closer together, but making sure that the feet are flexed. So placing the palms on the mat, take a deep inhale, exhale, take another deep inhale, and as you exhale, begin to fold forward. So let's start off here for a moment. Being mindful, maybe you feel a little bit of a stretch in your inner thighs, groin area, as long as there's no pain. Keeping that feet flexed, take another inhale, and as you exhale, begin to slowly move. Try to see if you can fold a little bit more. I'm going to be here for a bit. It's known that emotions are sometimes trapped in the hips. And so when we begin to open our hearts to opening your hips, we might feel some relief, actually, emotionally. Let's take another deep inhale. And as you exhale, begin to see if you can fold forward. As you inhale, begin to slowly bring your fingertips, not completely. Let's stay here for a moment. And let's check in, seeing where we are. It's important to find peace, and there is a space between effort and ease in yoga. So if you find that the pose is maybe a little bit difficult, but you're able to do it, that sweet spot is where it all makes sense, and that's a wonderful thing. So take another deep inhale, another deep exhale. As you inhale, slowly begin to come back to neutral, bringing the soles of the feet together, the feet together once again, flexing feet, and then maybe moving your feet, playing around a little bit here. And now let's come on to our backs. So in our final poses here, we're going to take a moment and bring the knees into the chest. And then on your back, we flop your feet out, your palms out as we come into Savasana, which is the final pose in the yoga practice. And as we're coming back to our breath, breathing, as you inhale, and then as you exhale, begin as you exhale to imagine that your shoulders are melting into the mat, finding stillness. And when you're ready to come back to the breath, maybe wiggle your fingertips, wiggle your toes. And then let's turn to our right for a moment. And then come back to a seated position where we started. As we close this practice, I want to thank you once again for attending. I enjoy every moment that we spend together in these classes, and thank you. So let's bring our palms to our foreheads, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Our hands to our mouths to help us find peace and help us in our communication. And our hands to our hearts to remind us to have clear and loving intention. Thank you guys so much. Namaste.
You can catch Mikaila every Sunday on Morning Yoga with Mikaila at 12 noon. Mark your calendar right here